How's it
Welcome back
going?
to my
It's
channel,
going
guys.
so
So today
easy.
I'll be learning how to make this alternate dress with side pleats or jara. So this is the fabric I'll be using if you are making this type of dress. Because me, I'll be making the length I'll be working with is almost the full length. Okay, I'll just be minusing like 5 inches from the full length. So if you are making it long, you are going to be using 4 yards of fabric. Okay, for like let me say from small size to medium size. So if you are making it short, you can use 3 yards of fabric. And the kind of fabric you should use for this, it should be a soft fabric that can flow on its own. So let's get into it. So the first thing I'll be doing now is to draft my what's it called? I'll be drafting. So the first thing you are going to do is to draft your basic dress pattern. Now I have my shoulder measurement, my chest line, my breast point. This is optional. This is if you want to add that to it, your breast point and your underbone. This is my half length. This is very important. This is my hip line, then your full length. So I'll be adding to my pattern paper by the time I want to cut it out on fabric because this is not going to it's not to my full length, okay? So I'll just be adding to it. So I'll go ahead and create my neckline now. I'll create my neckline. For the neckline, it is a V-shaped neckline, U-shape rather. But the person does not want it to be as open as the one you saw on the video earlier. So I'll just mark 3.5 here. Then I'll come down by 7 inches. Let me come down by 7.5, okay? I'll come down by 7.5, then I'll connect it together with my curved rulers, so that it will give us the V shape, U shape. If it's a V shape, I'll be using a straight ruler, but I want a U shape. So that is why I'm covering it with my curved ruler. Now, I need to say this, you can make this on a dress, like the upper body is not going to be alternate. It doesn't have to be alternate. So you just follow the same process. The only difference is just going to be the upper body. So I'm gonna need to create my shoulder slope. So I'll come here in order to create my arm hook of the center. I'll go in my half an inch, then I'll connect them together using my curved ruler. Okay. So after connecting it together, assuming you do not want it to be alternate, your upper body is ready. All you just need is to just increase your body measurement. So I will increase my body measurement now before I alternate the upper body here, this chest line area before I alternate it. So my bust measurement is 39.5. That's divided by 4. I'll be having 9.75. Then my waist is 35. My waist measurement is 35 divided by 4. We have 8.75. So I'll be adding 1 inch for that allowance. So I'm going to be marking 9.75. Okay. So 9.75. So my hip measurement divided by 4 is 44 divided by 4. My hip measurement is 44 divided by 4 is 11. So with this 11, I will transfer to the M line. You don't need to shape the M line. So I will just go ahead and mark my 11 until I get to the edge here. You know that we are still going to do slash and spread. So we don't need it to be seated. So I just mark my 11 all the way down, then connect them together. Remember, I'm still going to extend my pattern by the time I want to cut it out. Okay, so I'll go ahead and join my points now. I will join them together, then we continue. So having done that, I want to create my star line for the upper body, which is alternate. So what I'll just do here is I'll just mark, let me mark 1.5. Okay, 1.5, then I'll connect it back to my armhole. So it's going to be open. So I'll connect the 1.5 using my curve ruler back to my armhole area like this. Okay, so this part here, I'm still going to be extending it by 2 inches before I add my what's it called, my rope. The rope we are going to use this. This shoulder part, I will extend it by 3 inches before I add the strip we are going to use to tie the neckline. So I'll be showing you this I forgot to leave the 3 inches. I'll show it by the time I want to cut it out. So the next thing to do is to create where you want your pleat to be. As you can see in that video, the pleat, the cutting started from the half length. So it's just something like this. As you can see in that picture, so we have something like this, right? So what I will just do now is I'll be marking where I want it to be, and most times it has to be where you want to add your dart. So for me, I'll be dividing my nipple to nipple by 2. My nipple to nipple is 8 inches divided by 2, that is 4. So I'll mark my 4 like this. I'm still going to create my dart anyways. So I'll mark my 4. I'll create my dart where I'm supposed to create my dart. So I'll mark the 4 all the way down. Before I create the dart, I'll mark the 4 all the way down. So I've gone ahead to mark my 4 inches all the way down, and I've already created my dart. So for this type of style, if you are adding that to it, it's always nice to use a princess dart, and that is because you'll be able to cut it too, because we are still going to cut this part, okay? So for this now, I just add my basic dart. If you want it to be a princess dart, all you need to do is just to find your midpoint from your armhole area here as you did the other time. Find the midpoint and connect it to your dart. But for me, since I'm working with alternate, this is what I'm using. I'm not using this one. So I'll just find the midpoint. Then I'll connect. So I'll just connect it to this place like this, so that I'll be able to cut it out. Okay? So I'll just connect it like this. There's no paparazzi, nothing much. You don't have to do anything. Just cut it out and you are good to go. So what I'm just going to do now is I'll be cutting out my pattern in order to remove this dart. I need to remove this dart before I shape what I want to shape, okay? So I will cut out this pattern, I will remove the dart, then we continue. I'm going to cut out my dart. As you can see, I'm here to slash it out. I did slash that because I don't want to lose I don't want the pattern to be separate yet. Okay, what I'm going to do next is to determine how curvy I want the pleat part to be. So what I'll just do is I'll measure 2 inches here. So this depends on you. This is not a constant. You can use 1 inch, you can use 2 inches. Let's use 2 inches and see what we are going to have. So I'll be connecting my arc length to this 2 inches back to my dark line here. So just like this. So I'll place my curve ruler like this. Then I'll connect it back to my dark line. Connect it back to my dark line. So this is what I'll be using. If you don't want it to be as curvy as this, you can use 1 inch, you can use 1.5. You can see that I measured the 2 inches diagonally. I didn't measure it straight like this. I measured it diagonally. So you can just go ahead and do that. So I'll just highlight it now so that you can see it very well. I'll use my marker to highlight. Okay. So I'll be cutting this out now all the way down. So this is the part we are going to be doing the slash and stretch to, okay? So I'm going to cut it out now, following the shape I created just now. So these are my patterns now. These are my patterns. So if you are not adding that to your own, you do not need to cut it out. So these two patterns is going to be together. Assuming you did not add that to your own, the two patterns they are going to be together, okay? But because I want to add that, that is why they are separate. So for my back pattern, it's still the same thing. So the only difference between my back pattern, since I'm working with tube alternate rather, so the back is going to be tube definitely. So I will just go ahead and mark where I want the back to be. You know that this is my chest line and this is my breast point. So Anything I'm marking, it must come back to this armhole area. So I'll mark my back style line. So you can do any type of style line on the back. You can make it straight, you can make it curved. So I'm still going to be using this pattern for my back. I'm not drafting another pattern for the back. So the only difference is this the back pattern is going to be starting from this point to here, okay? So I will just cut out the front pattern first before I now cut out my back pattern. Then I will be adding half an inch allowance for joining. Remember to add your side seam. So for the back now, the center back is going to have zipper allowance. So I will add 1.5 as my zipper allowance. So I will set this aside so that we can work on this. So we are going to be slashing this particular pattern. So for this now, you know that this is towards the center. This part is the center and this one is towards our side seam. Side seam. So please you need to label it. I'm gonna need to create my slash lines. For the slash lines, you can create as many slash lines as you want. It depends on it. So I just went ahead to create 5 slash lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've gone ahead to mark the arrow showing that this is the upper part. Okay. You need to label your slash lines because you are going to be placing it on your fabric or another person paper according to the way you label it. So I'll just go ahead and slash this out now. Then I'll show us when I want to spread it out. So this is the center piece for the front body. You can see that I extended the shoulder. So this is just so that I'm not going to be joining the strap for the alternate like directly on the shoulder. So the joining is not going to be showing directly on the shoulder. It will tilt towards the neckline a bit. That is why I join. And this extension does not have any measurement. You can just decide to extend it as much as you want. Okay. So I'll go ahead and cut my back bodice now.
So these are my and this is the fabric I want to use. So this is I really line there. That will be my starting point, and this is my first strip from the slash line. This is the one that is going to be by the side seam. Okay, so I'll place it like this, then I'll mark 3 inches in between. That is the spacing between each strip is going to be 3 inches. Okay, so for this one now that I'm pinning down, that is the first one, which is going to be around the side seam. You can decide to join the side seam, and you can decide to cut it together. For me, I'll be joining the side seam because it's going to have pockets. That is why I'm joining my side seam. But if you are not adding pockets to your own, just go ahead and cut it as like you don't need to join it, so it's going to be on fold. So this one that I'm cutting now is going to serve for one side. That is one part of the back piece and one part of the front piece. So after cutting out this one, I'm still going to cut out one more. But if you are cutting, that is, you are going to be having two pieces of this fabric by the if you are not joining the side seam. But if you are joining the side seam, you are going to be having one piece. So I'll go ahead and um place them as you can see. So I'll mark my 3 inches and place them all together. And the width of my fabric is 28 22 rather. So after placing them all, like all the slash strip, after placing them at the hem line, I will extend my hem line as I've said earlier that the pattern paper was not enough for my hem line. I'm going to extend my hem line. Then at the hem line, I will just go ahead and mark the 22 that I have at the beginning. That is what I'll mark. Then I'll go ahead and shape it. I'll show you where I'm going to shape it later on. So I'll continue this one now. So if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, kindly subscribe to my channel. Turn on your notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I drop new videos. So I'm done placing my pattern on the fabric, as you can see. So the next thing is just to curve it. I'm just going to follow the shape that I have there. Can you see? So I'll just curve it in and add my joining allowance at the upper part, and you are good to go. So after curving it, make sure that your curve is not very sharp, because when I was sewing, I realized that it was so sharp, so it was giving me some of bulge around the dress after joining into it, so I had to trim it out. When you get to the sewing part, I explained that also in the sewing part, so you are going to see what I did in order to correct the mistake I did. So just go ahead and cut out your fabric. So this place like this, you are going to be pleating it. You can do small small pleats, you can do gathers, whatever you want is fine. So I'll cut it out now, then we go to the sewing machine. And remember that the 3 inches interval I use in spreading out is not a constant, okay? So the more you spread out, the more fullness you are going to have. Now let's assume you just slash your line strip into three. I slashed mine into five. If you slash yours into three, definitely you are going to spread out more than three to have fullness. Okay, so and if you slash your lines into five also, you can decide to spread out more than 3 inches. It depends on the fullness you have. That is not a fix, it's not a constant at all. It is not a constant, so you can just do as you wish, but the 3 inches is just like the minimum. That is the average. If you use 3 inches, it's going to look out perfectly. It's not going to be too scanty, and it's not going to be too full. So that was why I used the 3 inches. Hope you get that.
So these are my first fabric. This is the front piece, as you can see. So I cut out the lining. The lining of the side piece is going to be full like this, but the lining of the center piece is not going to get to all the way to the down part. That is my preference anyways, because at the end of the day it's going to have gathers. So what I did is I placed my side piece like this on it so that I will know where it's going to stop. So my lining is going to stop at that place. So what I will do to this lining, I'm going to be folding it in order to make it neat. Then after that, it's going to stop here. So that is it about the lining. That is what I did for both the front and the back. And this is my strip for the outer neck, to tie the outer neck. So I cut out 4 inches. Your strip can be as long as whatever you want. So I cut out 4 inches. I think I'm still going to reduce it because the strip, I'll be joining it to the shoulder, and this is still wide. So I'll reduce my strip a bit. I'll still reduce it a bit. Maybe I will reduce it like half an inch. So you can just cut out 3.5. That is if you use this measurement. Basically just measure what you have here and cut out um the strip using the size of what you have here. After, you must have turned the neckline and arm. Okay, so yeah, now I have 2.25 here, so I'm supposed to cut out 1.75 for my lining. So 1.75 plus 1.75 is going to give you 3.5. So I'll just cut it out a bit. So it can be as long as you want, but for me I cut out 25 inches long, and I cut out my pocket. If you're adding pockets, cut out your pocket. So that is all about the cutting of the pieces. So this is the down part, the pleat part. So this is going to be around my center um bodies. It's going to be around the center bodies, and this is going to be the side bodies. So I have four of this because I'll be adding pockets. I'll be joining it by the side. But if you are not adding pockets, you are just going to cut out two. Okay, can you see? This is it. So we are going to be pleating it. This is going to have pleats like this. So go to the sewing machine now and sew.
The first thing I'll do now is to join my center piece. This is my front piece. I'll join the center piece to the side piece. I'll join the fabric together, and then I'll join the lining together. So I'll do the same for the back piece also. Then I'll show us what we have. So I'll just place right side facing right side like this. Then I'll pin it down. I'm going to be pinning it down to make my work easy. Then I'll join it all the way down using half an inch. If you are yet to subscribe to my channel, kindly subscribe to my channel. Turn on the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I drop new videos. This is what I have for my front piece after joining. Can you see? So what I'm going to do now is I will turn the neckline. So after turning the neckline, before I work on my armhole, I'll be joining this to the shoulder like this. You can see that it's going to fit in. By the time I take this in for my neckline and this in for my arm, it's going to fit in. So this is the strap to tie it at the neck area, and this is what I have for my back piece. This is one of the back piece. This part here is the center back, then this is the side. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll use my lining to turn the back piece also. After turning the back piece, I'll go ahead and join it by the side. So I'll be joining it with my seam allowance. So the next video you'll be seeing is when I want to add the pleats to the side. Okay, so just go ahead and do all of this. I will add my zipper. So the next video you're going to see is when I want to add my pleats to the side. After joining my side seam, I'm gonna join one of the pleats by the side. So I want to explain something to us, because by the time when I was joining the pleats, I realized that this place was puffy. So it was like this. I had to trim it out. So basically what I did is, this is my pieces for the pleats, right? So at this corner here, I came in by 5 inches, then I connect it. So I make sure that it is not sharp at all. You can see the difference between this one and this one now. So you have to make sure that by the time you are cutting it, you did not have a sharp point like this. Like the curve part is not so curvy as my own like this. I'll just trim out this, then I'll join it to my um side piece. And I came down by 3 inches. In order to fix my pocket, this is my pocket opening, then I continue my journey all the way down. So I'll trim this out now so that we can continue. I'm going to do now is, I'll place this is my pieces for the bladders. I'll place it on the from the hem line. I'll sew it all the way to the point where they meet, where the side piece and the center piece meet. This point, I will sew it all the way to this point, and I will do the same for the other side too before I start my pleats. So I'll just go ahead and sew this now. So I'm done joining the two sides up to the place they meet. So what I'll do is, I'll place, this is my side center piece. So I'll place it together like this, and then I'll pin it down. So after pinning it down, I'm just going to distribute the excess I have all the way equally. So I'll just split it. You can decide to use gathers, you can pleat whatever you want, it's fine. So after pleating, just go ahead and fold your hemline, and you are good to go. But remember not to fold the side too much, so that it's going to lay flat, or else it's not going to lay flat. So I'll just go ahead and pleat. Now this is what I have after joining the second side piece. So I went ahead to fold my hemline, and I add my button to it. As you can see, the button is optional. If you want, you can add. If you don't want, that's fine. See you next time. Bye.